Gentlemen, Brenda pledge, yes, I'm sorry. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yep. Just a second. Did I give you my agenda?
I don't know, but you can have this one.
He can cook it in. He can cook it in. You will.
This is probably down here with it was in there. Well,
I'm glad it's just a short day. Nothing against you on this. Started this morning, and wow.
okay, let's see here. Try this again. And I'm laughing and my glasses are getting a little steamy. It's warm in here. We've got a minute. I'm trying to, what's going on here? I lost my. Heck. Here we go. I'm almost there. So let's see, today, April 2nd. We will begin as soon as I get up into my Zoom land, if you don't mind.
Did you ever hear from Ruth?
Oh, I did. So I spoke with Ruth. Ruth, in Powell County, they are a little short-handed at the moment, commissioner-wise. So both commissioners needed to be present today to sign off on some county business. So she couldn't come today, but she is going to drive up next week.
I didn't see him, and I thought, won't be so
Yeah.
happy. I was gonna ask, I'll even ask you.
Okay, board minutes for March 26, 2024.
I'll move to accept the minutes.
Second.
Any public comment? Things none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the next agenda item is correspondence. The first one is from Granite Justice Court. And the end of the period disbursement detail and report total is $5,363. Okay, our next agenda item is from Brittany E. Jones, and this is an announcement from the Department of Interior and the finalization of the waste prevention production subject to royalties and resources conservation rule, also known as the waste prevention rule. And this will be implemented by the Bureau of Land Management and aims to reduce the waste of natural gas from venting, flaring, and leaks during oil and gas production on federal and tribal lands. Granite County, I don't think has any oil or gas production, so I don't think we need to put that on the agenda. Okay, our next email is from Jackie Bolster, our Granite County Public Health Assistant. And she is writing to bring to our attention the matter of relocation of the Public Health Office. And she's requesting our guidance on where these items are to be moved.
Just when we talked
Yeah.
about it, just next door, Chuck, just moving the stuff over into the other office there, it's for the elevator, you know. And some of that public health or There's some stuff that Jackie or we meet or whatever with her and go through. There's some cold stuff that might. So, they're gonna have to use their own, keep what they want.
Okay, another thing that we're gonna maybe have put on the agenda is visit with the, what is it?
The health,
The health.
or Granite County Health.
Healthy Granite County Network.
That we are gifting our offices to them. And now we're going to have to use it for county business, so they're going to have to find.
We just gotta use our own stuff. I mean, we're gonna take
Well-
one whole office out, cause they're gonna need it to work in, and the next one they wanna put stuff in, so I think it's just time to,
Well, we're just gonna have to let them know that they're gonna have to probably find other offices elsewhere, because the county health is going to be needing those offices. So we need to probably visit with them.
Okay, that's scheduled.
And the next email is from the directing administrator from the national, and I always can't pronounce this, opioid. Settlement, sorry. And this is quite detailed. And it is on the web if anybody wants to review and study it. I don't think there's any discussion or it has to be on the agenda. Unless you feel it does. Next is from Mako. And this is a letter signed by Mako's Board of Directors. And this is concerning Senate Bill 442. And they're asking us to put this on the agenda to discuss it and add our signature to a letter to the citizens of Montana. Were you able to read this?
Yeah, I read it.
Okay, so and I think we probably,
In my opinion, they're way overstepping the bounds.
well, and I think that this needs to be on the agenda for discussion. And in my opinion, it sounds pretty legit to me according to the letter.
Well, they're stepping in on the legislative and judicial and executive.
Who's stepping in?
Mako.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're
Yes,
not.
they are.
They're informing the counties what's going on. They're not
They are
stepping in.
promoting that.
Okay, we're not gonna argue about it.
Yeah.
That's your opinion,
Yeah. Don't put your hand up to, don't put your hand up like that.
It's your
Don't
opinion.
put your hand
We
up
don't-
like that.
I'm the chairman.
I don't care. Don't put your hand up. See, that's the kind of person you are.
What'd you say?
That's the kind of person you are.
No, it isn't. You're the one that's yelling.
Hey, that's
You're the one
enough.
that's yelling. I asked you to be quiet
No,
and you won't listen.
It's enough.
Because you're upset about this, you think
It's
Mako,
enough.
just, hey, you're not the chairman either. I'm gonna finish my comment.
Shit.
Mako is not interfering. They're just letting the counties know what's happening. That's my opinion.
well, good.
Okay,
That's not my
it
opinion.
needs to be on the agenda. Billy, please.
Yep.
Next is from Kareem from Burke, and this is a letter to confirm that we are having our Granite County Commission access Georgetown Dam on Monday, June 10th. Take it you don't want to sign this either?
What?
The letter?
I can sign it.
Okay. That is the end of correspondence. Is there any public comment?
Elena?
Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you. For the record, Elena Gagliano. First of all, I want to thank you Commissioner Blanche for that letter, Mako, and putting it on the agenda. As far as the dam correspondence, it says that there are certain things that you're gonna have to do for the inspection. Did you go over those things and who's gonna do them?
We have that ready and set to go for June. It doesn't have to be discussed right at this moment. Will be the same situation that happened last year when we did the same. We met up at the dam at the same time with FERC.
And it's showing some of the stuff that we've actually done. He wants to look at, like the gravel, fix the ground.
Because, I'm sorry, because it says something about removing vegetation and stuff and a whole list of things to do, so I guess you're familiar with that. Okay, good. And going back to the first one about moving things from Jackie Bolster, I didn't hear, was that at the courthouse, or I said, 'cause somebody said something about a elevator. Is that what that has to do with, the elevator?
We are putting an elevator in the courthouse. The office that she's using right now is where the elevator is going to be. She's going to have to relocate her offices, and she was just curious where she was going to be able to relocate to.
Oh, okay, because I thought it was referring to the Drummond location.
No,
Okay. Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you. And doing this is asking you to please be quiet. It isn't being rude or ignorant.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
saying, please be quiet,
No,
because
it's
you
rude.
refuse to do that when I, please. And as chairman,
Hey,
if
you want my dictator.
I'm
You
the
can't tell
chairman.
me what to do.
Well, hey,
Hey,
we're
no, you
trying,
know, hey, nothing.
we're trying to make this a conversation where it's at least.
I just
civil.
stated my opinion. Okay, and then you started arguing with me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I stated my opinion, and then
It's
you,
fine.
you
And
talked.
then you put your hand up like
Yeah,
that.
because I said enough, it was time.
Hey, don't tell me it's enough.
Well, it is, I'm the chairperson.
Yeah, you're not my dictator.
I'm
You're
the
the chair.
chairperson running this agenda items.
No,
Yes,
no.
and I would do the same to you if you were the chairman. I'd respect what you had to say. And I did when you were
Hey, you're
chairman.
yelling right now.
No, I'm
No, you're
voicing.
yelling right now.
My voice goes octave, it
You're
goes
yelling.
high when I'm trying to discuss something
Yeah,
and I'm
you're yelling.
passionate about it.
Yeah, you're yelling.
And you're deaf anyway, so I'm trying to help you out.
I got the age, okay?
Good, great. Okay, so public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction. Sorry, gentlemen. Is there any public comment? Wait. We done?
I just came to introduce myself.
Same for me.
Lena, I'll-
Elena, go ahead.
Thank you. All I have to say is that last display is not a very good display for the public, the way Commissioner Hinkle acted. He is part of the commission, and Blanche, you are right. You happen to be the chair and you conduct the meeting. And I've seen this from Commissioner Hinkle before. And sometimes I think maybe if he's that upset, rather than taking time, and this is a public meeting, he should just get up and leave. Thank you.
Unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. That's almost funny.
Is there any public comment? Any other public comment?
Sure.
Place.
Public comment, whatever you feel, you're more than welcome.
No, man, I'm good.
I see Little John was driving the car.
Was he?
Yeah, he had to go on he had to use an ambulance or help on an ambulance call down there, drunk, something bad went on.
Good.
Who?
Little John, Robert Little John, the ambulance, you know.
I think he came to my place.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I couldn't want to really say nothing, I just saying that they're actually using the cars.
Nothing big.
Gravel bits next week.
Yeah.
So I thought, somebody asked me.
Okay, we have 5 more minutes. Any public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction?
I guess I might as well say something.
Okay, state your name, please.
Here's, I'm Jeremy Miglin. I'm running for state senate in this district. I do want to say that that was out of our leadership. I expect more plan from you. You even to bring it back up, to have a second round of trying to stir up problems. I would just expect more out of our leadership, honestly.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
I did want to say, I don't know,
So you
whether you
feel,
like me or
you
not.
feel that I was the one that was totally wrong.
There's a better way to handle it.
Right,
You are in leadership, and to handle it like that was just not a very good display out of what I personally would expect, you know. I'm running because of leadership, and that's what I'm gonna bring to the table is leadership when I get there. You know, we lost a lot of seats. Republicans lost a lot of seats, and with a supermajority, there wasn't leadership there to get anything done, right? Now we lost a lot of seats. It's a lot closer Senate. It'll be a lot tighter Senate and House. Without leadership, there's not gonna get anything done. That's just as tight as it's gonna be this next year. Nothing's gonna get done without proper leadership, so. I'm not gonna say whether you're right or wrong, I'm just gonna say that I was disappointed in the way it was handled, right?
All right.
People have tempers, people get mad, I get it, right? Chuck had a temper too, both of you had a temper. But as leadership, there's just a better
Okay,
way to
thank
handle
you.
it, and I would appreciate it if it was kind of done differently
Okay,
next
thank you.
time. Thank you. Thanks for letting me hear.
Well, that's fine. No, that,
and
you're,
let me
well,
Give my opinion, I guess. So,
yep.
Thank you.
You bet. You bet. We do this all the time.
I imagine,
That's
you
what I
know. Get
was,
high strong, it is what it is.
that's what I was gathering. That's what I was gathering. Oh, is it time for me to introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. I am Chance Gibson. I am the new general manager at the Rancher Rock Creek. I wanted to come introduce myself. Been in the business 30 years. I'm extremely happy to be in Phillipsburg. I was slated to go to Big Sky. I've been running resorts and been in hospitality for MGM Grand for over 15 years. I've been all through Asia, Middle East in the hotel business. And sailing off into the tail end of my career, I came to Rock Creek and Phillipsburg, and hopefully this is where I stay for the rest of my life.
Great.
So thank you for having me. And I just, if you need anything, let me know.
I'm glad to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Okay, it is 9:20. Is he upstairs by any chance? Maybe.
Maybe, I haven't heard from him yesterday, that was it. He's supposed to be here.
I haven't heard anything.
One thing, now that we're into this, somebody called and left me a message last night. There's a big pothole on the dam where you turn across the dam. And maybe we should have him run up and look and make sure one of them things that dissolvers didn't flip up or something. Or get some cold patch up there to cover that, especially if they're coming in June, so we keep up on.
Is it where that thing is, maybe?
I don't know, I just had a message. I don't know where Paul is.
Well, they have, the wellness thing going on
I know, but
upstairs.
he knows he's gotta be there. Say, I haven't heard or seen him. I called him, see if he is.
There he is.
He was walking in when I called him.
We're hiding out, were you? Morning, Paul.
Tied up on the phone.
There's
Okay, we have Paul out with us and to give the road and bridge weekly report.
We are just starting to do a little blade. Wherever we can possibly here. Johnny shut down Rock Creek, see what he can get done down there. But possibly not much.
He's a new general manager of Rock Creek Ranch.
Oh.
I wasn't coming to complain about the roads.
We'll give you time, give you time. Just get better luck.
If I've got to bring donuts every day, just let me know.
So anyway, that's what's going on there. And doing some cattle guard work. That's cattle guards that are going to hell and cold patching. Size, but trying to get one of our old pickups put together for, it should be done today. Because the one that they are using is gonna have to go to the shop or the junkyard or something. And it's, I'm gonna take it down to Chevy and let them give it, put an estimate on. Yeah, maybe it won't be too bad, maybe.
Get yours fixed.
Finally, yeah. Picked it up Friday. There's another, I don't know, between $2,000 and $3,000 for it. But it's got 190,000 miles on it, you know, it's just gonna start. Gonna have to think about one of these days if we're keeping that or if we're getting rid of it or what, but. It's time, you know.
Otherwise you get Nick one dimes. That, not but in, would you run up to Georgetown? Somebody left, I don't know who it was, there's a pothole or one of them thunder things put up maybe? Right when you turn to go across the dam, there's a big pothole or something. Somebody left me, that's not even what it is.
I'll look that up, I was up there Sunday. Yeah, I can't see how they're ever, believe we put them in that estimate. Then on those signs.
I had set an encroachment permit up here from, Missoula Electric that needed.
So it's the signs for Lake Shore Road.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of just ordering a couple signs, probably get 6 of them made. That just say that this road's not maintained by Granite County. And then on the 2 up there, I'm gonna put May 15th, as of May 15th. We'll have that final date done certainly before then. You wanna put a date on it, what, we need to have some kind of a date, and that gives us 30 days. We'll be blading it before 30 days are up. Yeah, so,
Why don't you just put June 1st? We start a whole new year then.
we'll put you first, that's what you want to do.
What's that?
That's fine, I have signs up on the.
Oh, June 1st.
Probably maybe the time I get the signs here anyway.
Yeah.
Sign builders, they're always behind this time of year, you know. Yeah, I looked at that and
Okay.
it's all done. They're all scheduled to do it.
Did you guys sign it? Sorry, you're fine.
Yeah, I met with them a week ago Saturday up there.
Who's that?
Missoula Electric, they're born under Rock Creek Road. They've got a board under the creek already and they just got to shoot underneath their road. What you gonna do?
It took a long time to come in the mail.
They must have figured they were gonna okay it since they already had it under the creek.
Yeah, I think so.
Now they're good. Looked it over, so. Other than that,
They say they knocked both the corner signs down on the East Fork Road.
Are they?
Yeah.
I have to get them pounded back in.
So on those,
That's it.
those road signs that you're going to get, determine what was gonna be the verbiage on it, or,
My thoughts were just that this road will not be maintained by Granite County after June 1st.
that's what you were saying, you said June 1st, okay, I missed that.
He brought 15th of May, Chuck said, no, let's go June 1st, that way it gives time to get the signs.
I thought I'd order 6 of them, that'll give us, but I won't put, there'd be no date on it, we can put the date on. So if something else comes up, we got signs we can put on a different road, or obviously there's just coming around, so. My thought anyway.
See how long they last.
they're getting shot. I mean, there's no question about that, but that's just what it is.
We go through so many signs, it's terrible.
Need to put wrap and Kevlar.
Yeah, right. On the back.
Right.
So what, gravel bids will be in
Next week.
next week?
we gotta fix some cattle guards up, some culverts, and some of that type of stuff. We got some few cattle guards to change. That one up at Travelers is, if we gotta we're gonna yard it out and put a bigger one in, I mean, a new one in there.
And the airport, Drummond Airport, people,
Yeah.
and they'll take, that comes out of there.
Yeah, and then they wanna make a little different angle out of that. Yeah,
He was up there yesterday welding.
I know.
It's not gonna be good enough.
No.
Scott, did you wanna come up here or so that we can hear you?
Okay, yeah, I gotta know if they're welding on Band-Aiding it, but it's coming out.
Broken up pretty bad.
Yeah, it's just garbage.
Did you have
Well,
some?
the shit just gets too fatigued at some point, you just gotta.
Gets a beating.
Solid waste?
Well, I'm finalizing the January, March, the billings for quarterly is what you guys were requesting, and we've got about quite a few people. It sums up to about $7,500 in fees and 20 cents. I'm working with Rick. He's gonna, I gave him a listing of that. He's gonna try to see if he can pay some of these down. He's notified everyone that's got overages, that has a grant disposal. It's not really an overage, it's just usage. So a lot of people have come in and paid those down, taken care of it. The ones that haven't, he's gonna try to cover, because it's just a small amount. He's gonna pay for those out of his account. And the rest I will send out letters of bills. That's how. And I
Sounds good.
envision how you guys wanted it.
Yeah, I know, that's the way to do it.
And also, I'm working with Myrna at the Department of Revenue for all those properties. There's 85 properties, 85 units that need to be added for new construction or construction that's hidden. Somebody's got a loft, rental place in their shed, those kind of things. So we're pulling those out too. Since everyone has to pay, I think everyone should do. And there's also Airbnb stuff where people have in their basements, so another should.
Sounds good.
So we can all play the dump game.
Okay, thank you.
And also the property taxes. So, thank you.
Gonna start digging out there in 2 to 3 weeks. Beaver dump, start getting that bathroom put in, get the water lines ran.
Good.
And just on the phone with them about that, so get that started anyway.
That's good.
As well. Get moving on it. Frost coming out of the ground. You don't use the frost in the ground for so long. Other than that, that's about it. Just gonna start putting culverts in and stuff. We're gonna put a 4-foot pipe in there up on West Mullen. When the road goes down, we always get it flooded out. Then dig that out, put that 4-foot pipes in there and then fill that up, take that dip out of that road. And cure that problem once and for all.
Good, that'll be nice.
I mean, we haven't had any issues with that this year, obviously because of the snow, but normally every year, that road goes to hell bad, so.
Good.
Waiting for Randy to come on there and say that you said you were doing that last year. But never quit raining. Well, other than that, that's about it. Okay,
talking about this letter?
That's on the next agenda item. The Lakeshore Drive notice.
Oh.
Okay, so. The next agenda item is, it's a draft notices to be posted and published concerning Lakeshore Drive.
I gave,
I do have an opinion on this, and I think maybe you ought to take this word only by Granite County out. I don't know, it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Says snow will be removed this spring only by Granite County, and I think we just take it only out and just say this spring by Granite County. I don't know, just kind of,
So take only out.
I think so.
So snow will be removed this spring by Granite County. Such maintenance. Okay, do you want me to just read this or?
I read it.
Okay, so this is a notice for Lakeshore Drive, and it's Lakeshore Drive at Georgetown Lake is a U.S. Forest Service road, not a road of Granite County. While Granite County has provided certain maintenance on this road, including snow removal, such maintenance by Granite County will not continue past the spring blading of the road. Snow will be removed this spring by Granite County. Such road maintenance, does that sound better? Such road maintenance on Lakeshore Drive, including snow removal, will be permanently discontinued by Granite County as of June 2024. Do we have to say why or? Okay.
We've had,
Okay, this road has become a major liability to Granite County, and the county simply does not have the resources to continue to maintain this road. Local homeowners, if they so choose, could approach, should we say should approach instead of could?
yeah, I think it's just they should approach the Forest Service, because that's the one that's their road, they need to go talk to
So-
them.
Should approach the local Forest Service Ranger District to inquire about the permitting process to take over such maintenance responsibilities. This was a difficult decision, but is the right decision going forward. Please contact the local Forest Service Ranger District, and it gives the telephone with any questions or concerns, and this is from the Board of Granite County Commissioners.
I would take out that whole sentence,
What whole sentence?
where it says snow will be removed this spring only by Granite County. Because it says right above it, well, Granite County has provided certain maintenance on this road, including snow removal. Such maintenance by Granite County will not continue past the spring blading.
Little
Good
redundant,
enough.
yeah.
So we just got rid of that whole sentence. Because it's right above it anyway, right?
Okay, yeah, you're right. Very good. Okay. So, past the spring blading. Okay,
I like the idea of having a set date there too, I mean, just so people are the bright line rule, bright line there.
okay, and so then we have sign notices, and we're gonna, 2 signs, right? One
On each end.
on each end. And no Granite County maintenance. And it says including snow removal beginning June 1st, 2024 on Lakeshore Drive, a Forest Service road.
I would just put it,
No county maintenance.
no,
I
on
thought
maintenance,
that was
period. I wouldn't even start itemizing stuff.
No, because then they're gonna pick, you know, I can put no county maintenance.
How
Well,
is it
yeah.
gonna, how is it gonna be worded?
The sign, I thought we just decided there's gonna be no county maintenance on this road as of June 1st, 2024.
Okay,
No.
big signs.
Yeah, yeah, I'll get 3-foot signs.
Okay.
Would better have something, you know. The bigger target.
So I'll move to send this letter
I'll
then.
say,
As amended.
Or publish it in the newspaper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so were we gonna publish for, like we were talking last week,
Yeah.
for 6 weeks, or do we need to do 6 weeks if we're gonna post signs?
I would do 6 weeks
I
on
won't
the
do
sign.
a couple weeks. Fine.
2 weeks is good,
2 weeks?
plus
Okay,
it'll be on the website too.
okay. All right. We have a motion is in a second. Is there any public comment? Things none, all in favor?
Right.
Motion carried, passed. Okay. Thanks, Paul.
Okay. See you later.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too.
We got 5 minutes till our next agenda item, which is the dam tenders report. Was he gonna go up today and check that out?
So he said he's headed there.
The biometric people were up there, they're going to do the blood draws.
Oh,
They
You
give
get your
county,
blood done?
yeah, they give county police $20 for
Yeah.
doing it.
I seen
Good
this
Friday.
pack all the stuff down, it must be done.
Yeah, they must have been doing it early.
Yeah, they got here like it's a little before 6.
Oh, okay.
I made Titus help him carry stuff up
Oh,
the stairs. They paid him in
Yeah,
juice
the little-
boxes.
Divider, so it was private.
Okay, so the dam tenders report, Georgetown Lake outflow, okay. We have 6428.79 feet as of 6:15 this morning, and it's 8.52 inches.
Last week was 8.28.
No, I'll move to continue with 25.
Is there any public comment? Things none, all in favor? Aye, motion carried and passed.
There's still a lot of ice up there.
Hmm.
Gary, you wanna pop on up here?
Or that seat on the
Alright.
post.
Our next agenda item, we have Sarah Morris with Coast to Coast EMS. Update with the 90-day numbers. Morning, Sarah.
Good morning. I apologize, everything's on my phone, so I'm looking at my phone. So I wanted to come and give numbers of, call volumes, what we ran, and then some issues that we're running into, because we always said, I would come here first before, doing anything and just updating everybody on what's going on with us. So in terms of numbers, this is gonna be slightly past 90 days. Let's see. We had 30 calls in the Phillipsburg area. And then, so Jason and I, either both of us together or one of us has been on 80% of those calls in the Phillipsburg area. And then I'd say about 80 to 90% are ALS calls. So it really has been beneficial having a paramedic, which is Jason here, because there's been a few calls that I can think of that we truly needed the drugs that he carries, or, you know what I mean? So those kind of instances. So it's good to know, that large of a call volume is needing the drugs as a paramedic level. And then in the Drummond area, there's been 17 calls. We've been canceled on 9, and then we ran on 8. So the 9 calls that we canceled, either like Drummond got out, Easter we were very busy. So Drummond actually was really helpful in Easter, and we were running with them as well. But the other 9 calls were either just, cancels, and that's not the patient canceling, that's either like dispatch canceling, his Drummond either got out or for whatever circumstances. And then we've had 4 fire calls for Phillipsburg that we've just, standbys were available over in the area of where the fire is. And then going into numbers, so there's a couple issues that we're facing, so I'm just going to give you the numbers first. So we've collected 11,000 so far in 90 days, and I know we've talked about it before. It's $25,000 a month for one ambulance 24/7, which technically speaking, we can cut numbers on our side because it's me and Jason running everything.
You running as the coast to coast or
Both.
you're doing volunteer
Yes.
work?
Oh, so that the 11,000 is all coast to coast.
Okay, alright.
And then that I'll get into bills or
Okay,
billing. in a second.
So that's really none of our business, is it?
Well, I just wanna make sure you guys know
Yeah.
that what they're
think
what
we
they're
have.
doing, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's your
Yeah,
personal.
well, it is your business because if we can't, you know, if
Sure.
something, if we can't collect that much or, you know, and that'll get me to my next point is why that is your business. And we're an open book. You should know what we are collecting or not and what the paramix is because moving forward, you should know that as a county. And that 11,000, there are some long distance that had nothing to do with Grant County. It was, you know, like Anacondas to Missoula's. But the reason I say that gets me to my next point is because we've been having a lot of issues with Granite County Medical Center. So like one issue is we have a patient, I'll give an example, one patient, we had a car accident here. We brought him, or Phillipsburg brought him to Granite County, but they needed further care, so the patient ended up going to Butte. So at Granite County, I did not get a face sheet, which is giving me the insurance information, patient demographics, that kind of thing. But Butte, when I got to Butte, I got one from there. 4 weeks later, I asked Granite County for a face sheet and it's self-pay, which means they're seeing it as the patient doesn't have insurance. That's not true. The patient does have insurance. So in that one scenario, I had insurance information from Butte, thank God, because I could bill it, but I'm not getting insurance information from Granite County, and this is weeks and weeks after. So it's been a constant struggle with Granite County. I don't know how they're billing, that's not my information, but I can't get insurance information accurately, which lets me not bill. So I did have a patient where I was given inaccurate patient information. So I'm billing the wrong person and I'm not gonna get paid for that. And then that goes in the Phillipsburg side. So I've gone back and billed at least the last 2 months for them before we were even here. And it's the same thing. It's a struggle to get face sheets. I can't get insurance information. I'm ending up having to call the patients. Yes.
So would it be, you want us to get a letter to Brian and just in regards that we need, if they were gonna make this work,
Yeah.
they gotta work.
We've
with
been
us.
dealing with it. So this has been a constant problem. And we do deal with Brian, but the problem is he's not responsive to us. So we have our corporate compliance guy in Ohio, his name's David, and he is in constant emails with Brian and he's not getting anything back. And there's been a few calls that have not notified us, which is a breach of our contract. There's been many breaches of our contract with them, which I know is not, you know, a part of this, but moving forward, we will not take any more transports out of Granite County unless Granite County is upfront paying, and then they can bill the insurance, because if they're not gonna get the insurance information, there's no way I can't run calls for free, and that's what we've been doing.
Plain.
One thing I want to point out for the minutes, basically, is Granite County Commission doesn't have
Yes.
supervisory
Right.
control
Yes.
over Granite County Medical, since the hospital district. But, I mean, Brian, the administrator, comes up and gives you guys financial updates, and if we're gonna have this work, they've got to work with you. So it may be the county commission going to the board, the hospital district board, if it's
Yeah.
not gonna get resolved.
And that's the one thing that we haven't done is talk to the hospital board, which, you know, could be a next step, but in terms of us on the coast to coast end, we can't take any more transports out of there, and transports being like hospital to hospital. We just can't do it anymore because we're not getting the accurate information, so there's no way that I
Well,
can
it's not
collect.
gonna work, it's gonna break.
Who's
Yeah,
doing,
exactly.
who's doing it then?
It's common
Who's
sense.
doing the transfers?
And I need
I don't know.
I need to.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously we all have to come together to fix this, and, you know, I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but this is
You're not.
my historical, you know, these are my facts, you know, I've been trying to reach out, I've been trying to have a solution to this. They've made it incredibly hard to get this information, and then when I do get it, half the time it's inaccurate. And there is not one hospital in the country that doesn't fact check. So there's a thing, it's basically like a computer system. You put either like a social in or name, date of birth, and it will say like, yes, this is their insurance, it's confirmed. So
Plain.
I was just gonna say, I mean, Granite County Commission's been begging for a private group to come in here, and I think, yeah, I'd encourage the commission to.
So I'm just
work with
thinking that because it's you trying to get it done and you're not, I wonder if she should be the one that goes to the board.
Yeah, and I absolutely can. And you know, the other solution, it does work. It puts them out more money in the beginning, but our contract right now says that if we, which, you know, they're in breach of the contract, contract's not really valid anymore, which is our contract with them. But it says if we're agreed upon, they'll pay the Medicare rates up front, even if the person has commercial insurance, let's say. So they'll pay us up front before we transport, and then they can build insurance. They actually might make more money that way. I can't tell you one way or the other. But that's just one of our many problems. So we've lost $50,000 in the first 90 days here. And that's coming all out of our pocket, obviously. So we have got to change something. We can't continue to go in that negative direction. And then another thing is a lot of our expenses are gas. Which we're spending about $500 a week on gas right now, but about half of that is for like 901s and Granite County, because the rest of it is going to be like our inter-facility transports, Anaconda mostly.
I was gonna say, yeah, and that's a good idea, going coast to coast, going to the board, next meeting on the agenda. But potentially some type mediation between coast to coast and Brian to try to, I mean, I don't know if informal mediator can try to bring them together or whatever,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's in the best interest of the county for the hospital and coast to coast to be able to work together.
That's kind of why I thought maybe a letter from us, just to have kind of, please work with them, make sure, I mean, we need that.
Yeah, that's.
And that's
good
why
too.
I've been having David, our public compliance guy, he's in Ohio, he's nowhere near us. So Jason and I don't formally deal with him because we're here, we're seeing every day. We just want patient care. That's what we want to do. You know, we want to be in the hospital, dealing with the providers, that kind of thing. So I have David deal with it, but it's not getting anywhere, you know? So that's just one of the major issues is here. And if it doesn't get resolved, and it might not, to be honest with you, that just puts us further away. We're still gonna be in Granite County, but we're gonna have to take more Anaconda transports, which, you know, leaves us out of the county a little longer. Yeah, and knowing that we did 80%, you know, of the Phillipsburg calls at least, you know, I don't know.
Go
One thing
ahead.
Eagle did was just left the hospital out of it, didn't it? They just didn't bring people here.
I think so, yeah,
That's not right either, but
no,
gotta be able to get along.
You
yeah,
gotta get money, you gotta get paid.
yeah.
I mean, they're doing
Yeah.
a service for them, they're helping them out, you know, how,
Mhm.
which is kind of rude, really. To
Well,
me.
and it brings, you know, to a whole other separate subject is how are they billing? Because if they're not getting the information to me, they don't have it. You know, I don't think they're holding out. That's not what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I just think they don't have the information. So, you know, I can't say what they're doing on their side of things, but
I guess whatever we can do to help, I know we don't have a lot of support, but I mean.
Well, I don't know, you're suggesting a letter. I think maybe we need to visit with him. He hasn't been here for a while.
A long time.
So maybe we should schedule, ask him to come and give his report, because he hasn't given it for a couple months.
No, I
That's
used
been
to send
Three
emails,
months or something.
but I never got a response.
I guess, also I was saying with the letter, maybe, you know, to get it started, that trying to figure out what's going on. I know it's not a call.
I
I
think-
get something to help them.
So I think a face to face may be
Yeah,
better.
I do too. I'm just saying that if we could get him on the agenda to give his report and also discuss the problems
Yeah.
maybe with
And-
coast to coast.
in the past, it's been, you know, okay, well, I'll check into it, or we'll ask like for numbers. So we'll say like how many transports were taken out that weren't called, you know, that maybe should have been. If we just don't get answers back.
So you wanna try to put him on for next week so we can get this rolling, because obviously we're so far behind.
Yeah.
What I was thinking is, if we do that, do you want to come back?
Yeah, I'll absolutely
Okay,
come
and then
back.
we'll have his monthly report and then put coast to coast
Yeah,
problems or coast to coast, how would you put that?
Or just working relationship with
Yeah,
coast to
working,
coast
yeah, yeah.
discussion.
Yeah, and then we'll try to,
right.
at least this is our way of trying to maybe helping you.
Absolutely. And so the other issue is the gas part of things. So like I said, we're about $50,000. And a lot of that is gas. I know it sounds crazy that that's a lot of gas, but a lot of calls we're taking like our personal car to go to meet like Phillipsburg, or if Phillipsburg can't get out, then obviously we'll taking our, and it's part of the billing issue that we're not getting, being able to bill the right insurance company and all that, so it takes a lot longer. And then going back and billing, there's a lot of questions that you have to answer, like why wasn't this billed, this is 911, why wasn't it billed whatever ago for the Phillipsburg side of things. So it's just been a little bit of a delay, and then getting those face sheets, because at that time they weren't getting face sheets because they didn't know what was going on, what to do. So going back and getting the face sheets now for the Phillipsburg side is taking a lot longer. So I would have liked to collect something by now for the Phillipsburg ambulance side, but it's just been very difficult. And like I said, I got billed the wrong people because that's the wrong information I'm getting. And then, it is a little embarrassing to have to call the patient. This is, months later. By the way, what insurance do you have? So.
Well,
So are
there's-
you speaking with billing, or are you actually talking to, with both?
With both, yeah. So on the Phillipsburg side, I've been going back the last 2 months, because that's what they had, paper fake sheet, patient care reports. So I've been trying to back bill that, because I can back bill up to almost a year. So that's what I've been trying to do. And then, so with that, I take, a run that they did in last July or something, we'll say. And then I'll have to get with whoever they transported to, which is mostly Granite County. I get with Granite County, ask for the face sheet, which gives me patient information, insurance information. But that has been a struggle in itself, just getting that. And then once I get it, a lot of times it's inaccurate data. So 90%, well, that's not 90%. A large majority just says self-pay, because that's, an easy box to click instead of actually checking like, what do you have? You have Medicare, do you have, private insurance, what do you have?
Okay.
So that's been a major issue about billing, and that's why we've only collected 11,000. That's, that's a large loss to us. That's.
Okay, is there any public comment or questions to ask coast to coast?
Have a comment too.
So,
No public.
see, he's ready to send.
Oh, go ahead.
I was
State
just
your
gonna
name.
say, my name's Chance Gibson, General Manager at the Rancho Rock Creek. For the record, I've actually been wanting to meet the owners of Coast to Coast, and they are a tremendous value to have someone that they've been to our ranch multiple times. I'd be willing to donate some diesel fuel monthly to you, to help you out.
Wow.
As well as, just thank you. You've been to the ranch, and they actually picked me up personally. So,
I wonder
whatever I can do to make this work or contribute, please let me know. But, thank you for hearing.
That's great, thanks.
Yes, Blaine.
I was just gonna say, I mean, as far as the billing side, the county just wanted a good faith effort. We're not asking
Yeah.
for miracles. And so you're doing all the steps to get there. So I'm gonna, I'd say just, continue on with that. As far as the gas side of it, is it more coast to coast as well as an issue with Phillipsburg, or just coast to coast?
Just coast to coast. No,
Okay,
Phillipsburg is
all
no issue.
Okay,
It's
all
because we try and transport more on Phillipsburg's ambulance, so because it's back more money back to them, back to county, whatever. If they're not available, then obviously yes, we'll take our ambulance. But a lot of times we meet them because of the large majority that need the ALS drugs. So Little John is in advance, so he has some of the drugs and some of the cardiac, medicine, and then Jason has everything. So because he's a critical care, so there are going to be some differences that he's not going to have or he's not going to carry. So like pain meds, stuff like that. That's why a lot of times we'll meet and we'll do an ALS assist, which just means that the paramedic jumps on.
I don't want to speak to the commission, but I think if you're going on the calls, I think it should be coast to coast, and then not asked to do this for free, and then you can bill. But I guess
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Phillipsburg ambulance should be weighing in on that too. But I think they
Yeah.
already have and said that you guys should be primary.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and so the somewhat issue with that is when Little John is gone and we are, let's say we're on a transport, the volunteer crews don't always get out. And so that's why I wanted everyone to know we were backfill, even though we are taking majority or can take majority of the calls. because I don't want them to have, you know, the mindset of like, oh, well, they got it. You know, because a lot of times we're not here, or one of us is here and we still need the volunteer group, you know. Which they've been doing really good, but as the call volume increases, and I know summer it does increase, you know, I don't want them to think like, oh, they got it. So
Still a team, working as a team.
yes, and I want to say too, Easter, Frank and Monica, we finally met in person. And we worked well with them, and I think they finally are, you know, seeing us and seeing, I know Monica's on right now,
Yeah,
seeing
Monica's on right
me and
now.
Jason
She
Jason
can hear
actually
you.
jumped on, you know, their ambulance, which is what we want. We want, you know, you guys to be, you know, the forefront or whatever, and obviously we'll backfill as needed. But we're starting to get that relationship together too, so that way we can be more in communication, like if they're, you know, on the ranch or whatever and just can't get out, tell us. So because right now we're kind of waiting, so we'll get like a Drummond call and we're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen, and that's not right. We need to get like going, but we don't want 50 people there, you know what I mean? So I want to say that we're getting that relationship as well.
Okay, all right, great. Is there any other public comment? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, our next agenda item is discussion with candidate for Montana Senate District 38, Becky Beard. Okay, you want to come up?
Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning.
Well, Blake Bradshaw. County
Yes,
Attorney.
I
Yeah,
know the name.
Scott.
Please meet you.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I know the name. You go.
Yeah.
Billy. Okay, Billy, I'm gonna give these to you just so you have contact information for me.
Absolutely.
And there's a map of the newly drawn district.
Oh, that's nice.
But I wanted to just drop by and say hello to my opponent as well. But just to let you know who I am, what my face looks like. I know you have family members that know me as well. But I know there are a lot of issues at the county level, and we like to see as many issues stay at the local jurisdictional level and not have the state pouring in on those. But we're here to help out where necessary. I'm on the Revenue Interim Committee right now in the Senate and been working a lot with these property tax issues. So I am a resource for you to call when you have questions about what's going on with that and why it happened in the first place. We're working to come up with some really strong ideas to help mitigate the effects that it felt on. But I've been up in the legislature now for 4 sessions. And with this new district, I'm out just getting to know everybody. I don't want to campaign over the top today because this is a county local government meeting. But just so you know what I look like and to find out what issues you guys are looking at going forward in the county.
Well, you just heard some.
Yes, I was feeling for you because
It's big.
Powell County just went through a very similar issue where we had a mill levy through the hospital to provide ambulance service. Unfortunately, it was done in perpetuity. We didn't catch that in time, which means forever. And it doesn't benefit the outlying areas of our county. They just depend on other jurisdictions to pick up the slack when it's too far away from the head shed. So we've been dealing with that. We're still dealing with that. You know, roads, transportation, election issues. So you tell me what, water and sewer, that's my background. I've worked with the city or the town of Phillipsburg in the past.
I liked your bill last year about your, eminent domain. And we're having that trail, they're trying to put that trail down from Deer Lodge through Granite County
Yes,
to Missoula.
yes,
And I liked your bill.
that ruffled a lot of feathers because that bill, I've been involved with eminent domain on infrastructure. But I didn't realize it was so far flung that recreation and any outside interests that come in could just seize up these property issues. And I had a constituent up in Lincoln who said he found on Facebook some out of Missoula, a proposed trail right next to his breakfast nook window that went down to the Blackfoot River. And he said, help me, I don't want this to happen. And we got a lot of good people together and got that taken care of. And there's been some representatives in the House with a similar name as yours who've taken me to task and made me prove up what my bills were proposing. So, I mean, we've got a good rapport going on and we've got people holding each other accountable. So,
One bill we proposed here, not the last legislature, the one before, was for volunteer ambulance members to get retirement. And we went over the legislature and that just fell on deaf ears with the Democrats. And they said, oh, we'll study it. And never, I mean, Health and Human Services, they were pushing for that type of stuff. And they didn't come and support us at all. No one, the PRS threw a big fit about it. But I think that needs to be picked up. I mean, these small rural counties that can't get EMS services. And the idea was taking that money from the federal 911 dollars, which is, that's what it should be for instead of professors' retirement. But so that's something I think, to consider.
we've had,
Once again, I think our Mako killed that. As our,
Yeah, Mako didn't come in.
I think bringing this back up to Mako and
Yeah.
getting their attention, hit them over the head with a 2x4, figuratively speaking only.
Understood.
Yeah, but I think that because it's important, not just for this area, but we've got a lot of rural communities across the state who need that kind of backing.
And people aren't being volunteers just for retirement, but a little bit of help for them to keep them on, keep them going 20 years and they get it.
Well, we're
Full
seeing an
retirement.
attrition of people
Yeah.
stepping up to volunteer. And we're seeing the same thing with firefighters and all those
Yeah.
services. So.
well,
feel
there's one
free-
more thing.
Yes, sir.
My big thing is wildfire smoke.
Mhm.
And why doesn't state DEQ do more about the hazardous effects of that smoke? Because it's killing people. And people just put up with it. And they think because it's the federal government, mostly some state, that they just have to put up with it. And the federal government can dictate it to us what we breathe during the summer.
Okay, so that's an interesting topic because that's a chain reaction. And if you go back in the chain of command on the wildfire smoke, do you suppose it has something to do with the lack or the ineptitude of land management in cutting some of this thick and mature?
We all agree with that, but we know for a fact that the Forest Service is lighting those fires. I mean, they'll take a natural start, and we can prove it. And because they did it up here, and we have all the documentation and everything, but they'll take a natural start and then they'll say this whole area here, the fire is burning here, this whole big area is the fire area, and they'll light it.
When's the last time you had a congressional delegate from DC
They won't-
representing
They won't
Montana?
talk to us.
Why?
Well, the delegate.
Yeah, Senator Daines was here.
Yeah, representative did talk to us for Senator Daines a couple weeks ago or last week. But anyway, yeah, nobody does it. And I talked to him for years about this. I used to fight fire and I know about it. And it's a joke. It's a joke. And I called state DEQ when this fires are going, I think it was 2017, and asked, why aren't you guys doing something about this? And they said, well, it's federal government. And it's our air.
It's
against
we the
our
people. It's
Constitution.
we the people. I know. And that's what we're getting. We're getting, the government state is coming in, pushing what we need instead of us saying, here's what we want, and the rest of it, get out of our way. We want to manage our own lands. We want to have more input in our wild areas and quit overriding everything that we Montanans in this Federalist Republic. We are, you're smiling.
But can't you guys in the legislature do something about the state DEQ saying, hey, federal government, this is the state air. This is our citizens. You're killing them.
Well, the best that we're gonna get is some kind of resolution that's passed by the state legislature that puts them on notice. But we've seen over the past, I don't know, on and off, 16 years, them just saying, it's a nice resolution that you sent to us and they put it in the round file. I know, we have to get,
Why can't you guys make the state DEQ monitor the air? And they're not even doing that. Because from the couple of weeks ago, they had that DEQ meeting or whatever. And they said that they weren't even monitoring the wildfires. And so,
that's a good point. That's-
so you guys didn't make them do that.
And you know what's gonna make us do that on your behalf is when people like you right here say, this is what we need to do in this state. You are the government.
Sure.
We work for you. We all work for all of the residents. So I know, we'll smile, we'll take it up. Maybe get a resolution with some backing of DEQ. Charlie Burton.
I don't see how the federal government can sit there and do that. I mean. they
Well,
don't
it
have-
should be DPHHS and DEQ together. Because
I
this
mean, the
is a
state
health-
should take a authority, take some action and say, okay, we don't want this in our state anymore. We want to protect our people.
You'd think that would be a great bipartisan issue as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, thanks.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further questions?
Let's put it out to the public. Does anybody have a question for Becky?
And that excludes you.
Public, I'm not part yet.
We won't go political questions here.
No,
from
no,
political-
that, you can't do that today. Some other time.
Okay, well,
All right, well, thank you for your time.
and
And,
Becky,
all right, call me anytime.
okay, thank you.
You want to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah. Did.
Oh, you did, oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'll introduce myself later.
I'm Jeremy
All right.
Maitland. Yeah, I'm running against Becky. And, yeah, there you go. All right, another one, Becky. Yeah, I'm Jeremy Maitland. I was born and raised on the High Line, just so you know who I am. I never really introduced myself, just so I'm running, but born and raised on Grain Farm, north of Hingham. I was born in Chester. Dad was the undersheriff. Mom worked at the hospital. I had been married for a little over, it could be 21 years. We have an 11-year-old son. Yeah, I can't screw that up, but 11-year-old son. And, I mentioned earlier, it's gonna take leadership because it's gonna be a lot tighter to get anything done on either side. We have to bring both opinions together and come to a solution, There's a lot of great things that you can do for the county, I can do for the state. There's a lot of great things that can be done, but it's gonna take working together, not just being mad at each other and, so. I am a constitutional conservative, and just like Becky said, if you don't understand the principle of you guys are in charge and I work for you, if you don't understand that principle, you can't be calling yourself constitutional, nothing, right? So I could talk for 20 minutes on the DEQ and,
We don't have.
oh my gosh, yeah. DEQ, the head of DEQ, I'm doing a subdivision. I own 5 businesses, actually. I got a construction business. Me and my wife started together, excavating concrete, developed land in Butte, and I bought the lumberyard RNC and Deer Lodge, and we sell him most of the wood that goes out there comes from us. So quite a bit of it, but DEQ, they're tough because they just don't care, right? I sat in a meeting developing land and they said the law doesn't apply to us, so you're gonna do what I tell you. And that's in a lot of different DOTs, the problem. They don't care. They'll just do what they say. A bunch of unregulated, they're regulated, but they're not, nobody takes responsibility to tell people when they do something wrong. And And, you know, I went to Gianforte, hey, you know, the head of your DEQ saying that law don't apply to them? Well, I kind of disagree, but, you know, on the wildfires, that's kind of a big deal. Montana can take back control of our federal land. There's no reason that Montana has control of our land. You want the solution to all the wildfires and thinning? Montana needs to take back control of our land, and it's done in a lot of different states. Washington did it back in the 80s. Washington State, they screwed all that up, and that was all over logging too. But
Yeah, but they're still burning Washington up too.
mhm.
Like-
Yeah, it all switched. It started as a good thing, and then the state took control and messed it up just as bad as the
Yeah. They're
federal
all
government.
in,
Yeah.
in cahoots.
Yep, it is. So really, the state needs to take back control of our own land. We own it. They really don't have the federal government has no business running our land. You know, kind of in, when I developed some land in Butte, and it was similar. The state highway, Butte controls the state highways, and that's the way it should be. Butte Silver Bowl controls the state highway. So the state said, no, you can't get an approach in here. We're not letting you on the state highway. So it was just a big battle, and finally the Butte Silver Bowl stood up and said, hey, we control this road. We need the housing. He's coming onto this road. So, I mean, people just need to stand up and say, this ain't right. You know, just like Becky said, you guys need to stand up and say, this ain't right. You know what I mean? And I'm here to back you guys, because that's the way the flow of power is supposed to go, and it's not the way it's going right now. It goes from the federal government to the state to you guys. That's totally backwards, you know. And one of the worst examples is the gun in Great Falls. The FBI came in, or couldn't get into the gun shop that was raided. They used the IRS to come in. The IRS came in, took outside of their warrant, took 18 boxes of background checks, and I'm sure you guys probably heard about that, right? Under the warrant, I called Slaughter and said, what in the world's going on? These guys, federal government comes in outside of their authority. IRS has no authority to take background checks, but they did anyways. Why in the world would you let them do that? And Slaughter was scared to death. I'm not going to go to jail because, and they use the supremacy clause. Federal government thinks they can do whatever they want because they have a supremacy clause. They think they can run our state just by putting that in there. So they left this wide open search warrant and just took whatever they felt like under the supremacy clause because they think they're in control. And that's not the way it is. You know, you guys are in control. I'm in control. Coming to this meeting and saying, hey, Chuck, this is a mess. Help me out. That's the way it's supposed to work, and it's not. So, and leadership, you know, that's why we just
Well,
gotta
I
bring people.
hate to cut you short, but
Yep.
we've got another
No worries.
agenda item, so.
You're good.
Thanks for coming in.
Okay,
You're good. I
Yeah,
gotta
thank you.
introduce myself and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, 10:15, alcohol tax dollar designation. Granite County doesn't have their own, so we designate to other,
And actually,
and the Zenith View LLC,
they're in Phillipsburg. I looked them up. I had it
so
confused.
they are?
Last year, you guys redesignated to Star Counseling, who was Adam Azula, she came to talk to, and she was doing it through telehealth. But I looked at Zenith View, I had them mixed up, and they are in Phillipsburg. They are located down on Broadway. They do outpatient.
Okay. Well, I did
Yes.
talk to, Dawn Reese comes to our DUI task force. She's a prevention specialist, and she's offering like free, kids get an MIP, do the course with them. And she works through Butte Cares, and she said they could accept the money too. So I don't know if you want to have potentially both
we-
come in and talk to you, or.
We have designated Zenith View, and this is instructions to send to them. So what are you saying, get somebody else, or?
You can, they're an option too that you could go with. But you know, Zenith is doing local stuff too.
Yeah.
That's good. But Dawn offering the free classes, because we've had a few, that you do Fight for Life on DUI course. You do that as well. Well, Dawn Reese is doing it local though. Yeah, but Zenith is local too. but I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I was gonna find out more through, I figured the Healthy Granite County Network probably has a good idea of who they are, and I was gonna
Yeah.
call Kayla and find out. But yeah, but it says they're right down on Broadway, kind of where Healthy Granite County's network's other building is.
They'd be interested to know who they.
So what this is doing is the alcohol, percentage of the alcohol tax dollars designating to, Zenith View. And I don't know if that pertains, the one you're mentioning pertains to that.
Yeah, they're doing work in Granite County. But they're not on the list for some
No, you have to
reason.
have a certain, that's what they ran into with Star, and then remember when Jean Star came and talked to them, and then she had to go get a special designation for Granite
Okay.
County or something
Alright.
to
But
show
so-
up on their list, but they can always redesignate it.
Yeah, so Butte Cares could do the same thing.
Mhm.
I'd say maybe invite them both in, so you can talk to them and see what they both offer.
Let's find out more. I'm confused.
Table this, I guess,
When does it have to be in by?
June.
Okay, so you have some time.
Yeah, see if they'll come in and figure out really what's.
I sent you an email from Dawn, so you.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks. And Star isn't doing anything here anymore.
They
Well-
weren't on our list.
Okay, just would understand, we just can't decide who to send it to. Do they have to?
I will call, it was very confusing to sort out, because originally it was Western Montana Clinic who had that spot in Anaconda, but it was,
Our middle, Western
or-
Montana Mental Health.
there we go. But they were inoperable, no one was ever staffed there, so we weren't actually sending anyone there, but they were, and that was very confusing, but they were the only ones on our list. But now there's this one on our list, and Jean Starr came in because she was providing services here. And you guys were like, sure, we'll send it to you if you can get your stuff organized. So I had got a hold of DPHHS, and they had sent her the stuff to get herself all situated. And then she must not have got herself situated for Granite County to receive the designation because she's not on the
Yeah.
list for this year.
So it's the commission's decision, but they have to be on the approved list.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but Butte Cares could potentially get on there, but, you may decide if you have them come in that you like Zenith, that what they're offering better. That's why I say we'd have them both come in here.
Well, but they have to be on the list to be able to give
Yeah,
them money.
so if they'd have to come in and say, yeah, we'll work with the state,
Okay.
but if they don't come in, then they're not interested, then it
Yeah.
leaves you with. Zenith.
So right now Zenith View is on the list.
Yeah, they're the only ones right now.
Okay, so who's gonna reach out? You'll reach out or
Yeah, I can reach out and
To
coordinate
see
with
if-
them.
if they,
Wanna come
so what do
in.
they have to do to get on the list?
They have to go through this whole licensing process with DPHHS to get approved to be on the
And
list.
they probably are for like Butte Silver Bowl already. But Dawn does come over here and do those classes, so she is, that's a free service, so that's why I was thinking. we
Yeah.
Potentially have offer, if they.
Well,
are
then we'd
able
be
to-
sending it to Butte Silver Bowl.
Well, Butte Cares is over there, but then she'll come over here to do the classes and stuff.
Well, she does now, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's basically, I'd say a little bit of help for them for doing that service.
Okay, well, I guess we'll
Reach
figure,
out and have
reach
them
out.
both come in.
we still have time to. So 10:20. Review and acceptance of public health nurse applications and setting interviews.
So she couldn't come in for an interview today. You guys saw my email that she isn't available until the 16th unless you guys wanted to come in on a Monday or a Wednesday before then.
Okay, so what we were kind of discussing is there is help from DPHS if we need it, right?
Yes.
And then we were needing that we would discuss with her if he maybe can't start till July 1, so then we wouldn't need the funds from DPPHS. It just depends when she'd be available.
Available to start. You might have some, and I don't know how much you want to say about your candidate or any of the candidate privacy stuff, but there may be some various loose ends that you will have to discuss once you make a decision moving
think-
forward.
And
Yeah,
we
I
only
think
have
this
one
here is-
application.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
So we accept this one application and figure out a time to interview her.
Yep.
And when she can start.
then we can talk about this stuff, cause, yeah. This here's just to set, accept it, being the only one, and then we can sit down with whoever it is. And then we can talk about
Right.
what we have to, and then that's a privacy if they want it or not.
I'd say open meeting, but anything we're talking about, private issues would be closed, we have to have it protected private, unless she waives it.
That's why I was saying that we have to.
Would, I guess, would the 16th work for you guys, or did you want to interview prior to that and come in on a Monday or a Wednesday?
The 16th fine, cause she's gonna be pretty.
She's the only one that's applied, so we can work with her.
Okay.
If she's available on the 16th, we can be available on the 16th,
Perfect. I will schedule it then.
so.
We need to make a motion to accept her application on that, or is that just, being it's the only one? I just wanna make sure.
Yeah, let's see, you got enough
I
for,
don't know if you have to or not, but it's only
What
one,
did
but
I
I just
do?
wanna make sure. we're doing
you
it
can
right.
accept it complete.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
if you wanna
So
do
make a
it.
motion?
Yeah. we can-
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and accept the only application we got.
I second.
Any public comment?
Except, set for interview.
Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I didn't know we had to, I just wanna make sure.
That's- you're Acknowledging it's a complete, correct application.
Well, like, we have our contract through June
Yeah.
with Anaconda Deer Lodge. So
It
the
starts
monies
live.
that was coming before was in case we hired before. That was coming from DPPHS.
Yeah.
If we don't need that, but they're still gonna help us with the budget year, right?
Yes, I think you have 58,000.
That's what it said.
So if
That's
we had to
additional
hire
58.
early, if we had to hire early,
Yeah.
they would help us with that.
Wow, that's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a crossover for now, and I think there's 3,000 for supplies. So if there's supplies that we're going to need, we could do that. And I think that's in this fiscal year.
There's some other stuff too.
And then, 58,000 for next year. And then we'll reapply for that every year.
So it's option for renewal. yeah.
And Scott Cromwell said he can be available at 10:30 via phone. If you guys need him to be, if you have questions on the bids.
So, What bid?
Dun, dun, dun.
No matter-
You have capris on today. It's all spring.
What's one that's
They're
in?
cute. I like it.
I'm ready for spring.
It's 20 degrees. today.
Okay.
Finish it.
That's why I wore my coat in.
So he's gonna be there at 10:30.
He's available if you need to call
If we
him.
need to call him.
Yeah. I said you would call if you needed it.
One bid. One is all.
Wayne, you wanna do the honors?
All right. The Granite County Commission's opening the bid here for the elevator 88 project from, the sole bid is from TCS Northwest out of, I believe they're out of Hall, Montana, and
Out of
they-
where?
Hall, Montana,
What are they?
TCS Northwest.
Who's that?
Michael Cleveland, is-
I think so. They did all the
Yeah.
pre-construction work.
They're what?
They did all the pre-construction work.
yeah. The bid is for $1,476,400.
I was.
There is a bid bond in here for the 10% is required. And
They've done
The bid
this
looks-
before?
the bid does, have they done elevators before? I don't know, they've done I don't know that they've done elevators, but they've done bigger projects like the the new state shop building down here. And the projects at the Drummond School. They were looked at. So,
And that includes everything? The elevator and all, or?
Yeah, they would contract out for the,
yeah, so the,
the bathrooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really worried about it.
yep, so the, when, it'd be subject to negotiating a contract, but the, Site Architecture has that model contract and I reviewed it, we've got it. Kind of nailed
So
it.
they're supervised by the architect pretty much.
Correct, your contract with the architect has them as the liaison over it, and so, but definitely they need the contractor needs to be working with Janine, so she, you know, is aware of what the dates are and what needs done.
When could they start?
The, I believe in the bid notice, it talked about,
They have to present us. I thought Jane was thinking that they started on the 15th. I thought they presented us with their plan on the 15th. I might have it backwards, so.
we'd still have to get the contract negotiated, so I mean, that hopefully that would be next week that that's on the agenda.
Agenda.
So, well, it should be on the agenda next week, whether we get it signed or not. They are a credible company. I can't say that they've done elevators before.
Well, I guess because we only have one bid.
And one thing to know is the actual elevator itself is gonna be subcontracted
Yeah,
to the,
Right,
the one, I'm not sure the name, like MEI.
I can't remember. And this contractor, when he came in last week, he was talking to me after he went to the elevator company. And
So
he
they
had
would
spoken
create
with
the
them,
shed, they
so.
would create the hole for it, but the
Yeah.
subcontractor
Yeah.
actually does the elevator, then they do the bathroom.
then elevator experts will come put the elevator.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a, yeah, hydraulic elevator. It's, yeah, just what we need.
It's better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, except for, though there was
Yeah.
3 at the bid conference, so I think that helped.
Yeah.
Potentially, they know there's competition, it might have helped there, that
Yeah.
others were interested.
Which
Yeah,
one
there was
was
3
for
this
they?
year.
Who was,
They had on the safety vests
oh,
and
But Diamond
they
was
had their
the
office lady with them.
other one, and Dave Kessler.
Mhm.
okay,
So
so,
we're gonna pay for this with,
600.
ARPA
yeah, ARPA.
okay,
you
so
have-
ARPA, PILT,
and building.
How much it built?
we'll have to figure out what we have in ARPA and then in PILT. What else is there?
You had
Oh, and then
one
we have
contractor.
county building.
Yeah, I
We
think you
have a
have,
savings
yeah,
account in county building.
So I was kinda thinking that we had 800 or 900,000 without pill. And so the rest of this would be pill.
yeah, that's,
No,
Probably
no,
the
Yeah, I think, yeah, I
$800,000.
think,
That's right.
I think you're right.
you do have LATCF, but it's up to you.
yeah,
on
the
what you wanna do.
LAT, that was, that, I think we wanted to save that just for safety. didn't
Yeah.
we? What
So
was that?
pills.
We could use it.
LATCF is
How
the
much
one
is
that we got for the COVID thing, is that what you're talking about?
No,
We'll
that was
have-
different.
Oh,
companies.
It's under ARPA, but it's the one where the department's got the 20,000 out of it.
What will happen?
Oh, okay.
Okay, first, let's, do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that.
To set the bid.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Do we have public comment?
But we're gonna use everything and then we'll top it off with pill.
We got it.
So I think we'd have some pill left.
We're definitely gonna have Bill left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
Pilt
maybe
is
half
the
of it.
largest.
I guess-
amount.
I'm with you, I know what you're saying, I think once we sit down, we've accepted this, then we gotta sit down and look after if we have a walk through step by step in this.
Yeah. I
Then we
mean,
all
yeah.
on the same page.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll go into the funds that we need to finance it through, look at what's in those funds and get all that money and then figure what we have to pull from PILT. And PILT is over $1 million right now, and
So we
plus June we'll get another whatever we get yearly, so, yeah. No, we'll sit down and I don't know if we do this during the budget process. Or would we
I don't
just
think we have to, I think though. we
just
need
get
to
it
be-
ready and know what we're gonna get?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, cause
So-
you're all just, you're all set
Yeah,
for this
okay.
current
Fiscal
budget
year.
year.
All in favor?
Aye.
I. Okay, motion carried and passed.
Thank you.
I got a question. So is there an end date? Like when is it gonna be finished by?
It's projected at the end of
I think
October.
we gotta sit
Yeah.
down with them and really start
Yeah.
looking through their schedule, what we're, how to work it.
Set end of October, but that's
That's iffy.
yeah, that's
Projection.
real,
That's just a
yeah.
out there thing.
Yeah.
They say Christmas.
Everything takes longer than they say.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, I would figure around probably Christmas, New Year. Before you'll be completed, I would think.
Does this need to be
Stamp.
stamped?
Yeah.
Signed.
That was on my list as for things to do as a commissioner.
What's
I
that?
wanted to get done,
Yeah.
get the elevator in there.
Good job.
That was one of your goals, huh?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's done before the end of your term.
Been talking about.
And when did you put that on your list?
When I was running.
Yeah.
Get the elevator done? Really?
Hobbling around here on crutches.
There you go.
So just FYI, we got that big jury trial starting next week and I have that storage room full of stuff and we're not gonna be able to touch it.
We're just gonna have
Yeah.
to work together.
Yeah,
and
it's not
make-
gonna be that, it's not gonna be that. You don't have the contract on the side yet. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna have time. We don't even know where we can start for sure yet, or whatever, you know, what area. I would imagine basement parts and work up. That only makes sense to me is if you're doing elevator.
You think the elevator has to go in it somewhere, so. So are we good? Let's go first. Any other questions?
So what was the actual bid?
1,476,000. And
On the money. Didn't have one heck of a party.
in the elevator.
Yeah, in the elevator, there you go. I don't think we all fit in there one time though.
Yeah, because aren't they supposed to now do a second walkthrough? I think the architect.
I think
said
that's
they
the
would
thing
do a
on the
second
15th,
walk.
right?
I can't.
I
thought
can't
that was-
remember.
I have
There's
that down in my
something, yeah.
office. Do you want me to go get it? That paper that he said that?
Sure.
Don't you have it?
I did.
I never ever mind that.
Never mind that. I've lost it.
I don't know.
It had lots of colors on it. That's all I remember.
I don't know where mine went.
What are we doing?
Looking for that paper from the walkthrough that had
Oh.
the calendar on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, nothing else on the agenda? I think we can adjourn. Adjourn.
Thanks.